Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome everyone again to our Saturday Sanga. Thank you for joining us. We'll be doing our usual routine of singing a song from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, discussing it briefly, and then some show and tell, and I believe we have some more Vyasa Puja offerings. Our Vyasa Puja celebration is spreading over some weeks. And then we may discuss some Bhagavatam, continue with discussion of the churning of the milk ocean Leela, which we just barely started 2 weeks ago. Before all of this, I want to express my great sadness at the very sudden departure of our dear spiritual family member, Venkatabhatta, leaving behind his family, Varshabhanavi, and their 2 children, young children, Ila and Atmavit. And I wanted to request everyone to pray for Venkatabhatta, that he be taken fully into the shelter of Lord Krishna, Radha Krishna. It seems that he suffered a heart attack as he was outdoors with his 3-year-old daughter, playing with her. He had a heart condition that was known, but it was not known, obviously, the seriousness of the condition. I think it's a reminder for all of us of the temporality of material of this world. Of course, that's the general and obvious reminder. And it's also a reminder for us to take care of our health. Venkatabhatta was attending as he was able to his health, but it's something that we neglect at our own risk. Sometimes we need to have our system checked and to know that everything is functioning as it should. We need to exercise, something especially challenging in a time of lockdowns in winter time and so on, but it's still possible. We can do yoga asanas. I confess, here we have, this was one of my something I received on the occasion of my birthday. We have a small one of these exercise trampolines here now. And it's excellent for getting the system aerobic exercise goes very quickly on this. It doesn't take much time. So keeping our health as we are able, not that we obsess about our health, but in a reasonable way, we can often do something to keep well. Srila Prabhupada did say that health is a priority for the obvious reason that without a healthy body, we cannot, our ability to serve Krishna becomes very much restricted. So we can make some effort, and we don't need to think, oh, this may be Maya. Well, it would be Maya if it were just for ourselves, but we take care of our body that Krishna's given us for others. We are always part of a community, and we are serving that community. And of course, we are serving Krishna. Okay, so let's proceed with our song. And I think you have the text. This is now the first song after the Saranagati songbook, the series of so many songs by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. This is called, it's a group of songs. It was never, to my knowledge, published as a separate book. That could be interesting to have it as a nice separate book, maybe with nice illustrations, translations, word for word. It's only 13 songs, as I remember. And it's called Bhajana Lalasa. Lalasa means longing. So longing for bhajan, for practice of devotional service. And lalasa is also a particular type of prayer. There are various types. I think altogether there are listed some 10 types of prayers, and lalasa is one of them. We might discuss different types of prayers sometime. Yeah, so it's a short song, and it's called, this first song, it's called Prapance, Poriya, Agati. And we can read the translation first and then come back to the translation. First verse, O Lord Hari, having fallen helplessly into the illusion of this world, I see no other means of deliverance but you. You are the only recourse for the helpless. I accept the shelter of your lotus feet as essential. Second, I have no knowledge, no background of pious activities, nor any history of strict devotional practice. But you are full of compassion and kindness. Therefore, although I am certainly destitute, I solicit your causeless mercy. The powerful urges of speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, and genital have banded together to cast me adrift on the sea of this material world, thus causing me great anxiety and trouble. After great endeavor to subdue these material demands, I have completely given up all hope. O Lord of the destitute, I call upon your holy name, for now you are my only shelter. Lots of themes which we have heard in his Saranagati songs, but to me this is, the Saranagati was a kind of preparation, and now with these 13 songs he's going to focus particularly on the Bhajana, the chanting, the positive engagement chanting, especially chanting the holy name. Excuse me, I just reply one message, not hugely urgent, but just to get it done. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Many of these songs, Bhaktivinoda Thakura begins with a kind of introductory Hari Hey, which is, Hey is calling out to the Lord, Oh Hari. Prapance Poriya Agati hoiyā dekhi upāya agatira gati śaran tomāya korinu Prapance Poriya Agati hoiyā dekhi upāya agatira gati caran śaran tomāya korinu karama geyāna kichu nāhi mora sarana Bhajana nāhi tumi kripa-moya amito kangala ahaitu ki kripa śaran karama geyāna kichu nāhi mora sarana Bhajana nāhi tumi kripa-moya amito kangala ahaitu ki kripa śaran bhakyamano vega krodha jiva vega udara upasta vega niliya eshava সংসারে বাসাজে দিতেছে পারামর বেগা বাক্যমানো বেগা ক্রোধজি বেগা উদানো উপস্থা বেগা মিলিয়া এসভা সংসারে ভাসাছে দিতেছে পারামর বেগা অনেকা যাতনে শেষাবদামনে ছাড়িয়াছি আশা আমি অনাথেরা নাথা ডাকি ঠাবানাম এখন ভরসা তুমি অনেক যাতনে শেষব দামনে ছাড়িয়াছি আশা আমি অনাথেরা নাথা ডাকি ঠাবানাম এখন ভরসা তুমি প্রপঞ্চে পড়িয়া আগতি হইয়া না দেখি upāya agatira gati chorane śaran tomāya korinu sara Prapance Poriya Agati hoiyā dekhi upāya agatira gati śaran tomāya korinu sara. So, O Lord Hari, having fallen helplessly, Poriya, having fallen Prapance into the illusion of this world, Prapanca, my guess is it comes from the word pancha, which means five, the five elements. So the creation of five elements. Agati hoiyā, Poriya agati hoiyā, having come here, dekhi upāya. Upāya, you may know by now, means a method or a means. Dekhi upāya, I don't see any more means. I don't see any way out. Agatir gati. Gati means goal or aim or way, and of one who has no way. Agatir is possessive. śaran, your lotus feet are the shelter. Tomāya korinu. Sar, I accept the shelter of your lotus feet as sar, as essential. Yes, we know this word Saragrahi Vaishnava, the Bhaktivinoda Thakura gives us the grasper of the essence. So he's He's here finding the essence at the lotus feet of the Lord. Karama geyāna. Let's see, verse number 2. I have no knowledge, no background of pious activities, nor any history of strict devotional practice. Kichu nāhi, more sadhana, bhajana nāhi. There's no sadhana, there's no bhajana, and karama means karma, means good karma, pious activities. Geyāna, I think is from geyā, what is to be known, not sure, but it's no knowledge. In any case, here it's translated. Tume kripamoya. You are constituted of kripa. This word moya is means full of or constituted of, having as your very nature, kripa. Amito kangala. I am destitute. Destitute, English word, means having nothing, being wretched, being completely, we say in slang English, finished. I am finished. I am in a helpless condition. Ahaituki kripachai. And in this condition of, well, actually, ahaituki is, I guess, what's being translated here as destitute. No, wait, what am I saying? Yeah, first I have to wake up. Ahaituki, of course, I'm thinking of a kinchana. Ahaituki means without cause. Hetu means cause, related to cause. Hetu, haitu, ahaituki, one who is without cause, having no cause. Kripachai, requesting, give me your causeless mercy. Okay, so kangala means destitute. Vakya, and then in the third verse, he's giving the list of the 6 vegas, the senses pushing. Vakya, mano vega, krodha jiva vega, udara upasta vega. So he gives them in 3 sets of 2. The force, the pushing of vakya, of speech, the pushing of mind, the pushing of krodha, anger, the pushing of the tongue, jiva, and then the udara and upasta. Udara is the stomach and upasta is genital. Vega. Milya e sub, having, let's see, how is he saying it? They've banded together. That's nice. Milya, they've joined together. E sub, all of these. Shongshare basaye, and they've, I think this is some sort of causative. They've put me out to swim, so to say. Where? Samsare, in the ocean of birth and death, the cycle of birth and death, thus causing me great anxiety and trouble. Diteche parama udvega. So diteche, giving, bestowing, giving. Parama, supreme, udvega, great anxiety. So it's an interesting kind of play on the word vega. Because of the vegas, I experience udvega, where ut is has the sense of up or out. So pushed out, forced out, very disturbed. Parama udvega, total disturbance. I've been given total disturbance by all these 6 vegas. So in this condition, aneka jatane, with great endeavor, jatane, in making effort, and aneka, eka means one, and aneka means not one, which means many. Aneka jatane, in this great endeavor, seshab domine, to subdue these, to control. Domina means to push down, to control, to contain these vegas. Chadiachi asha ami. So ami, I, chadiachi, am giving up, asha, hope. Then anater nata, O nata, O master, O Lord, like Jagannatha. So nata, which nata? Anater nata, the Lord of those who have no Lord, the Lord of those, the master of those who have no master. Dekhi tavanama. Dekhi, I call out, like we have in our Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Prasad Seva song. At the very end, we have Preme Dako Chaitanya Nitai. So that Dako, that's a reflexive da with the tongue in the middle of the roof of the mouth. Dak, dak. So dak means to call. And dako is the imperative call. Preme, in love, in affection. Preme dako Chaitanya Nitai. So he's saying in that song, call out with affection, Chaitanya Nitai. Call out, O Chaitanya, O Nityananda. So here, Dekhi Tavanam, I call your name, Akona Barasa, to me. You are my only shelter. Barasa is shelter. Akon, now you are my only shelter. So again, addressing the Lord, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur does in so many of his songs, addressing the Lord as a prayer. Now in this particular mood called Bhajana Lalasa, praying for, longing for engagement, for bhajana, for the adhikar, the qualification, the blessing, to engage in regular worship of the Lord. Which is nice for us to remember. It's not that bhajana, worship of the Lord, is not something that we can do by our own will. We need the blessings of the Lord. So every day when we begin our sadhana, we are praying. Of course, the first prayer, we are praying to the spiritual master in Mangalarti, Shang Saradava Nalalita Loka Tranaya Karunya Ganaganatam Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Gurushi Charanavindam. We're remembering how Guru is giving us a rain of mercy, enabling us to engage in service. And we pray to the Lord, and as we're chanting Maha Mantra, we're praying to the Lord for his blessing to engage in Bhajana, in the regular service. What is the difference between Bhajana and sadhana, one might ask? Sadhana is that which leads to siddha. And bhajana is, we can take it as an aspect of sadhana, or we can take it as the mood of sadhana. Bhajana, from bhaj, bhaj, to share. So the mood of sharing with the Lord. Worshipping, bhajana, of course, comes to mean worship. We're worshiping the Lord. So in this mood of bhajana, we engage in our practices of sadhana. That's one way to see it. And of course, we also distinguish sometimes bhajan and kirtan, and kind of typically in our society, it's become that kirtan is what you do when you stand up in the temple or outdoors, harinam kirtana, and bhajana is what we do when we sit down and sing, singing standing up or singing sitting down. Yeah, I don't know. Those are perhaps a bit arbitrary. There's also different types of kirtan, nama kirtan, lila kirtan. And there's often overlap in these different expressions. In any case, the lalasa, the longing for this possibility to serve the Lord, this is something we can tag along behind Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as we go through his songs. And of course, you can refer to these songs anytime, not just once a week on Saturday that we go through them. You can sing, a possibility would be to sing this one song every day for the next 6 days, and then you have a deeper appreciation of it. Okay, I think Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, Dhira Lalita, you are, I think, taking the lead now.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. And Hare Krishna to everyone. Today we were supposed to have 7 devotees presenting Vyasa Puja offering, but one devotee, Surya Kunda, God sister, she is apologizing because of the holidays they've had. She has all Saturdays as working Saturdays in January. So I think she will present her Vyasa Puja first Saturday in February when she has a Saturday off. And also one devotee who is supposed to be on the list today, I think she is our Argentinian devotee, Amrita Japapara.
Yes.
But Katyani just let me know that she may not be able to because she doesn't have electricity or internet.
Oh,
So
okay.
if she manages to sort of connect, then she will present her Vyasa Puja last.
Okay.
So first we have a Mangala Chandrika, then Saragrahi Vaishnavi, and then Gokulananda Hari Prabhu, Daityesha Prabhu, and Kishori Kunda.
Okay.
So it's first Mangala Chandrika.
Jai. Thank you, I'm here.
Oh, good.
Jai, please accept my obeisances. Jai, Guru Maharaj, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for reminding us about the balance, the necessity of establishing balance in our lives. I was just reflecting how these two balls of personal health and my business is a bit in the air. So thank you for reminding me about that. So I wrote something down and I will read it a little bit. Beloved Guru Maharaj, please accept my sincere obeisances, Jai Srila Prabhupada. I am meditating on Srila Prabhupada's purport in 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where he says that when disciples are grown up and are able to preach, the spiritual master can retire and sit down in a solitary place to write and execute Nirjan Bhajan. So I pray and meditate that one day I can be one of your grown-up disciples and that this may be pleasing to you. And I would like to thank you and relish and reflect on some of the things that I feel very grateful to you day by day and actually year by year. These are just few. One of them is your patient guidance and care. Just recently, I had the need to reconnect with you. After some time, we got a little spoiled in Radhadesh because we had your association for many years, for many weeks, a year. And this is now lacking a lot. And we really miss you, Guru Maharaj. So I asked you if we could connect and you immediately responded. I was so speechless because I know you have many duties and still you took time immediately. So I felt really reconnected and understood during our conversation and supported, and I asked you for some service. And as well, you immediately responded to that request. So this proves how our Guru Maharaj is like a desire tree. And so you gave me the service of collaborating on a handbook about Krishna killing the demons with Emilia. So this is really a bit of my comfort zone. But I know that it's a service to you, so I will do my best. I know it's valuable service. Thank you for your patience on that. And one other thing that I reflect on and feel gratitude is your encouragement. Years back, just before my second pregnancy, I shared with you my challenges with chanting, and you suggested that I should just try and start going for Mangalarati. And I thought it's mission impossible. I thought this I cannot do. It was just obvious in my life. It's just too upside down. And then I also got pregnant, so it was confirmed. But recently, maybe a year ago, I remembered again your instruction. And I thought, oh, maybe I give it a try, even though it's almost impossible. And it's true that since then, I feel like a Mangalarati junkie. And it became my lifeline. And basically, this is now rising up early and chanting in peace is really like something that's a lifeline for me, like a survival mode. And definitely, I know that, I know this is due to your, advice and mercy. So thinking of you, I'm meditating on a big cherry tree here in Radhadesh. We have a beautiful cherry tree. We have many trees, but one is particularly beautiful, especially in the springtime, which is coming in a few months. And this big cherry tree is deeply rooted, has strong roots and wide branches, so it offers shade and shelter to many devotees and people who come to Radhadesh. And I see you offering us this deep-rooted shelter and guidance and inspiration for many years, and to many, many people actually. So I aspire to become a tree like that, a smaller version, and to be able to offer some shelter to others. Thank you very much for everything, Guru Maharaj. I actually understood by your example how there is another type of shraddha. There's a shraddha called Sadhu-bhavan. It's when we get deeply inspired by seeing an example of other Vaishnavas, how they practice their spiritual life. So thank you for your example.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes, let us all become cherry trees. This is, I'm remembering the particular tree you're referring to in Radhadesh. It really is a quite special tree just across from the college. Yeah.
So our second devotee is our dear god sister Saranagati Vaishnavi. Is she with us?
Yes, she's here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Jai Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And I wanted to offer you in this occasion, I made a cake for you.
Acha.
Yeah, I was, since, because the pandemic, before the pandemic, I started with a Russian devotee. She was teaching me to do some cakes, beautiful cakes that she was offering to the deity. And we continued with the course online during the pandemic. So after that, I kind of was trying to maintain myself because I lost my job that I was doing, taking kids on the after care school. So kind of I was doing a little business of doing cakes also. So I'm gonna show you also, I made a little presentation so you can see the pictures of those things. And also I was doing jewelry, devotional jewelry with tulsi beads that I was doing like for 3 years. But so I also was making a compilation on some pictures that I wanted to show you. And I also made a little poem. So I'm gonna flip my camera. If I don't know if I can do it. Wait. Well, maybe I can show you like this, right? Okay, here.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if it's enough light.
Yeah. Looks very good. Oh, very nice. Okay.
Yes, this cake is a mousse cake. It has a pastime because when I decide to put a color on the cake, I wanted to do it yellow, but it really turned orange, like like a Tanya's color. It doesn't look there in the camera, but in person, it's very orangey color. So this is a cake for you.
Thank you. I can almost taste it.
Please accept it. And I wrote a little poem. It's very short. There's some rhyme. It says, Guru Maharaj, thanks for being in my life. Life is a danger without your light. And you're giving me shelter and dissipating the dark that has been accumulating for millions of lives. how life would have been without your teachings, without your blessings, without your preaching. Just an ocean of sorrow, illusion and sinning, a ship that is sinking in this material existence. I cannot repay you, your infinite mercy, but I beg God to God for keeping me in your service.
Nice, very good.
Yes, yes. Some of my feelings in a little more, but so then I'm gonna share I'm gonna share, this is my altar here. I'm gonna share the screen. So I can show you the pictures. And I know I wanted to do the presentation with some audio, some music, but instead I'm gonna sing along.
Oh, okay.
Now, how will I share the screen? How to do this thing of sharing screen? If I can find it, Lalita, Matashi.
You have a green button shows on my laptop. It says share screen. And you click on that. And I think also if Dharmagupta Prabhu needs to give permission for sharing the screen.
Yes, I see just myself right now.
Okay. Do you see the button that says share screen? It's like a little green icon and it has an arrow pointing up and at the bottom says share screen.
Yeah, now I see it. Okay.
I see that. Okay.
Well, my family is visiting me and my sister is visiting me now. So I was engaging my sister. She offered help. So she was making this. She put all the pictures together for me. I don't know if you can see.
Nice.
Can you see it?
Yes, we see cakes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
I don't know how to stop sharing screen.
Yes.
Did I stop?
Yes.
Okay.
And now you can again make yourself visible.
I don't know. I'm looking. How do I do myself visible again?
You just click on camera.
Camera. Yeah. There's a little symbol for camera at the bottom.
Wait. I'm looking for that.
Start video, stop video.
Now I see it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
We can see you. Whoops, you disappeared again.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, when I'm here, I don't know where I am. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you. We just had a big cake feast.
Yes.
Visual cake feast. Thank you. Now that's very nice that you can also that you can get some income by making these cakes.
Yes. Yes, that was Krishna's arrangement that I started. Before the pandemic, I started, learning how to do it, and then I make it in a small business.
Yeah, that's good. And you have a big devotee community there as potential customers in Alachua, Gainesville, isn't it?
Yes, we have. Yes, all my customers are devotees right now.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Now, I want to request 1.5 minutes to disappear and come back, and then we can continue.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Katyayani, my dear god sister, do you know is Amrita Japa, is she gonna come or no? Oh, I can't hear you.
If you're asking Katyayani Mataji, then she should switch to English channel, because right now she's translating into Spanish channel.
Okay. Thank you, Dharmagupta Prabhu. So the next devotee will be Gokulananda Hari Prabhu. Is he with us?
Here I am. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'm back.
Jai. Our god brother is ready. Our god brother Gokulananda Hari Prabhu.
Yes. Thank you, Mother. Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good morning, afternoon. Here in Cancun, Mexico. Greetings, dear Maharaj and family. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Okay.
Well, it seems then that 2020 was the worst year of for the whole humanity, and it was in many aspects. So, as you know, Guru Maharaj, I lost my regular job as a wedding photographer, and who would like to get married in this situation anyways, right? So today even new dates for weddings came and approach. There is a new cancellation. So on the spiritual aspect, just before the virus appeared, I started with this Krishna West project, and every week we had meetings in a yoga center, and it was really good, and the people was getting in touch with Krishna for the very first time, and as many of us, one of the favorite parts of the people was the dessert, these sweet balls that we used to prepare. So that was very good. And suddenly this changed the whole world. And I really don't watch TV or news. And in my opinion is that if something important is happening in the world in some way or other, I will know. I have my kid, my 14 years old Emilio, that he tells me always that I'm a kind of fanatic Hare Krishna. And I say to him, hey, what is the problem? So the only important matter to pay attention is Krishna. But I don't consider myself to be fanatical. It's just an external appearance for the people that I'm always 24 hours hearing or chanting or reading. For those time, I didn't even know what was the COVID. For that reason, I said that I don't watch news. But in matter of weeks, I found myself and family and friends just locked down. Our first impression was like, what now? My work, the school, my sadhana, everything seems to be bad. But something wonderful happened to me. This is a note. I know that many people have lost their ones, and that is very sad to me. But I consider myself blessed, since the people that I know personally, if they got infected, it's just like flu for them. So the very first wonderful thing that happens to me in this past year is that I got in touch with you, Guru Maharaj, as never before. The last time I saw you in person, it was in Argentina, maybe like 15 or 20 years ago. And my main communication with you on all this whole time is via email, once per month, maybe some lines. So now I'm very, very fortunate that I can see you every week in this sadhana we're having these all weekends. The second wonderful thing that happened to me is my Krishna West service, that it became digital as well. And I'm doing now something that I never thought about it before. That is that I'm giving these Bhagavatam classes. And another third thing that happened to me is that I found a new job that is in develop stage. I was forced to wake up from my glories of being one of the best wedding photographers, according to some people, right? And I had to learn a new whole business that I'm very happy with that now. I know that I'm just speaking mostly about me now, but I wanted to Guru Maharaj to have a little brief description to see where I'm now in my life. I'm really sorry about last Saturday when I say that I'm doing this Bhakti Shastri because I felt obligated to do it to obtain my second initiation. But Gurudev, you are very wise and you can see beyond our life better than us. At the beginning, doing this Bhakti Shastri was a heavy lift to me, and I'm taking years to finish it. But now that I'm about to finish the studies of the Bhagavad Gita and next to pass to the next book, I can see how important was your instruction. I'm feeling that I'm learning so much. I'm so happy that I took that instruction, although I'm very slow. Choosing you as my guide was one of my smartest decision in my life. Among some few things in my life, you're one of the constants. A place where I can always come back in search of inspirations and advice. I know that my Guru Maharaj is the best Guru of the universe. I don't really mind the liberation. I don't mind to set free of chains of Maya, of this material illusion. I just want concern that is able to find you again and again, wherever you decide to go or appear. The desire of my heart is to be and have the opportunity to find you in this life or in the next, Guru Maharaj, and have a closer association to you. Please, Guru Maharaj, bless me and make me a tool of your service. My heart is always full of joy every time I can accomplish and something that I know that makes you happy and satisfied. I just can dream of being at your service the 24 hours of the day, Guru Maharaj. So I know that if I could take the pain of the people on this year that we have passed, I would like to have more these 20 years to come, because I know that that year, it made me closer to you. So you are aspiring to servant. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Very nice. I'm just thinking this this Krishna West that you're taking up is, in a sense, I mean, it's all relative, north, south, east, west, but I was thinking you are doing Krishna Southwest.
Sorry.
Being in Mexico, it's, yeah, Southwest. Anyway, That's very good.
Yes, I'm thinking that I'm only a disciple of you in Mexico, right?
As far as I know, yeah.
Wishing to have you here anytime.
So that's a special, that's some kind of distinction.
Yes. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Now we have Daitesha Prabhu, but he was commenting that he said he is translating. So I don't know if he would like to change the channel and maybe just do the Vyasa Puja offering or not. Daitesha Prabhu, what did you decide?
We don't hear you yet, so I think you would have to
Switch the channel.
switch the channel. Yeah. No, we don't hear you. Oh, well, okay. Best of intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you go to the, there's this button that says interpretation. And I think you have it on Spanish. If you change it, I don't know, to English or to off, then maybe we can hear you. Maybe, maybe not.
Daitesha Prabhu, apologize. Would you be so kind maybe just to leave the meeting and re-enter it again, so it will be kind of restarted your audio settings, so it will be maybe someone can read instead of Daitesha Prabhu, so he can read afterwards until he do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So next we have got Sister Kishori Kunda. She will read the offering in German. And I'll send the translation to our God Sister Chitra Karuni, and she will put it on the chat because I didn't know how to do it. So I asked Chitra Karuni to put the translation on the chat so everybody can read English.
Okay. Is yeah, I don't see or hear Kishori Kunda yet.
Oh.
Technology. Here she is. Kishori Kunda. Hare Krishna. Grüß Gott.
In Ehrerbietung entgegen. Tut mir leid, dass das eben nicht so ganz geklappt hat, aber ich hoffe, dass jetzt keine Störungen mehr auftreten. Und ich würde dir auch gerne ein Gedicht vortragen, nach langer Zeit mal wieder, dass meine Ehrerbietung für dich zum Ausdruck bringen soll, meine Dankbarkeit, die du uns in uns allen, in allen deinen Schülern auslöst. Und ich freue mich, dass ich heute hier sein darf und doch mal das Wort ergreifen darf. Ehre sei auch Prabhupada, der so viel für uns getan hat, für uns alle. Und ja, jetzt würde ich gerne mit dem Gedicht beginnen. Es ist zwar in Deutsch, können leider nicht alle verstehen. Und wenn es notwendig ist oder wenn es gewünscht wird, hätte ich hier einen Übersetzer an meiner Seite, der das gerne übersetzen würde, der dann vielleicht nicht gereimt in Englisch, aber vielleicht um den Sinn verstehen zu können, wäre es vielleicht ganz angebracht.
Uns ist gesagt worden von Dira Lalita, dass es bereits übersetzt geschrieben wurde und dass das uns geschickt wurde.
Ja. Ja, ich meine, wollen wir das jetzt dabei belassen, an der geschickten Übersetzung? Oder wenn es gewünscht ist, könnte er das jetzt auch so nochmal übersetzen für vielleicht die Zuschauer, die da sind, für die anderen.
Ich denke, wenn es geschickt ist, dann können alle das lesen.
Ja, ja, das ist vielleicht besser. Ja, danke. Ja, dann werde ich das jetzt mal vortragen. Ich möchte dir wieder einmal Danke sagen für dein Dasein, für uns Schüler an allen Tagen. Danke für die Freude, die du uns geschenkst, indem du uns auf die richtigen Wege lenkst. Du lehrst uns mit deinem vorbildlichen Verhalten, unser Zeitlimit für den Weg nach Hause effektiv zu gestalten und uns mit selbstloser Liebe Tag für Tag Sri Krishna zu ergeben, der höchsten Freude in unserem Leben. Er offenbart sich in den wunderbaren kleinen Begebenheiten, die uns tiefe Glückseligkeitsgefühle bereiten. Deine Geduld, Gurudev, und deine Ratschläge für uns gefallenen Seelen erleichtern uns den Weg durchs materielle Leben. Stets nimmst du dir Zeit für uns, bist unsere rettende Hand auf dem Weg nach Hause ins Krishnaland. Du hast sein ganzes Leben unserer ISKCON-Bewegung geschenkt und nimmst dir auch für uns Schüler viel Zeit. Nie hast du eigene Interessen vorangestellt. Du gibst alles, was du kannst in dieser Welt, opferst einen Großteil deiner kostbaren Zeit den uns Menschen ausgelieferten tierischen Seelen, damit sie sich nicht zu sehr quälen. In der von Profitgier regierenden Zeiten setzt du dich dafür ein, für ein würdiges Dasein, ihnen ein würdiges Dasein zu bereiten. Besonders den Kühen, die uns so vieles geben, für unsere Gesundheit in diesem Leben. Sie schauen uns mit vertrauensvollen, großen Augen an. Und wie oft hat man ihnen schon so wehgetan. Mögen deine Bücher an den Schlaf der Welt rühren und nie wieder diesen prachtvollen Geschöpfen Leid zuführen. Dein großes Herz sei gesegnet für alle Zeiten. Mögest du uns noch lange auf unserem Weg nach Hause begleiten. Danke, Gurudev.
Danke. Kishori Kunda is berühmt für ihre, Kishori Kunda is famous for her poetry, for her always rhyming poetry. So it's very nice. And there is a translation on the chat to be downloaded. Yeah, sent as a screenshot. Yeah. So nice. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now is it Atyesha Prabhu? Did you manage to?
Is he back?
Is he back?
Atyesha, where are you?
I can't see him still. He's out, but he's not back yet. I'm just checking the...
Hope we didn't scare him away.
But if he likes, we can leave with his name for the next time.
It says, I don't know. I think he's here. He's in the list of participants.
Oh, he says, I'm here, but it seems I'm not seen or heard.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Well, What to do? Technology. I think that's Dharmagupta's department. Okay. So was there anyone else today?
No, that's the list over now.
That's it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. The next time we will have 7 devotees.
Oh, well, okay.
Plus Vaitesha Prabhu. 8.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you. Thank all of you. My thanks to all of you for your heartfelt presentations, offerings. This tradition of offering something often as a written but otherwise spoken presentation seems to be a somewhat recent institution. Srila Prabhupada, when they had Vyasa Puja in honor of his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada wrote, he wrote a poem. When was it? 1932, I believe. A very, very nice poem glorifying Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, which Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur particularly noted. He found it particularly apt, and then Prabhupada gave a speech on his Vyasa Puja occasion. I believe it was in 1936. Somehow that year is in my mind, which means Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur would have still been present, but he would not have been personally present. I think Srila Prabhupada was in Mumbai at the time, Bombay, as it was called. Oh, there we see Daityesha. We see you now. Is it possible to hear you, is the question. No, we're not hearing you. Oh, well. That's possibly because you're again with the Spanish channel. Anyway, next time, maybe it can be figured out. Sorry.
Maybe Yatisha Prabhu can unplug the headset. Just unplug the headset and use just normal microphone and loudspeakers of your device. So it might be something with the headset you're using.
He's going to try that. No. If we still don't hear you, no. No. Okay. Well, all right. We tried. Anyway, it's the intention that counts, right? Yeah, so this sort of tradition of then making Vyasa Puja offerings, Srila Prabhupada encouraged, so that throughout the time Srila Prabhupada was with us, devotees very enthusiastically would write. And they became books, which I think also was a kind of new thing. I don't know if it was ever done in the Gaudiya Mat to publish a book of Vyasa Puja offerings. And now we have, for Srila Prabhupada every year, there are 2, not 1, but 2 Vyasa Puja offering books. One is done by published by the BBT, Los Angeles, every year. and one is published in South Africa, which the one in South Africa is, we can say, the more grassroots version. It is accepting any and all Vyasa-puja offerings written by any devotees who were initiated by Srila Prabhupada, whatever their present status may be, whether they are active as devotees, whether, if they live on the moon, that's okay. If they're a member of some other institution other than ISKCON, that's okay. Everything is okay. And so they're encouraging everyone to write. So those, and also actually both, I believe, both Vyasa-puja books are available online this year. Since sometime the South Africa version called Srila Prabhupada Tributes, SP Tributes. If you search online SP Tributes, I think you'll find digital PDF files of the last some years, and it's all downloadable, so you can read those offerings. Okay. So let us proceed then with a bit of discussion of Bhagavatam, Canto 8, chapter, I want to read from chapter 7. Lord Shiva saves the universe. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Praishva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. I was saying the last time, two weeks ago, I think it was, that we might consider this pastime of the devas and the asuras churning the ocean of milk in an allegorical sense. And I emphasize this does not mean only as allegory, but it is in addition to being, we can take it as itihasa, as history. We can also, I would argue, take it in an allegorical sense in so many ways, and one of the ways could be to think of the whole story internally, which is to say, what is going on in our minds, in our hearts. There are sometimes we may feel a kind of competition. Sometimes our better side is prevailing, and sometimes the dark side seems to push us, maybe wants to prevail. As you may know, there was a theorist of psychology in the 20th century, Carl Jung, who for some time was, you can say, close with Sigmund Freud, but then they had a kind of falling out, and then they kind of went their separate ways. And Carl Jung developed some ideas which have become attractive to a certain area, a certain, how to say, of psychology. He holds considerable popularity in many spheres, although not so much in the academic sphere of psychology now, because he's considered to be perhaps too speculative and to make too many generalizations. Especially, I think they have a problem with his idea of archetypes. There are too many counterexamples to his idea of archetype. In any case, he also spoke of, what was the terminology he used? I forget now. But he seems to speak about something like Paramatma, an oversoul. And that has been interesting for devotees. I know especially His Holiness Hanumat Preshika Swami has been doing a lot of lecturing, where he makes connections between ideas of Krishna consciousness and ideas of Carl Jung. Anyway, I just want to mention him in relation to his idea of the shadow, whereby, to put it in a probably oversimplified way, we all carry with us our shadow, just as we walk out into the sun when the sun is shining. And if we look toward the sun, we don't see a shadow. If we look away, we see our own shadow. And basically, as I understand, one thing he's arguing is that it's not psychologically healthy for us to avoid looking at our shadow. Rather, we should recognize and acknowledge the shadow. And in this way, it becomes possible, I don't know if he uses the term, but something like integrate, to become an integrated personality is to acknowledge the shadow. So I was thinking about this, for what it's worth, in relation to the churning story, where we have the devas. They're in trouble, and they are approaching the Lord. First Lord Brahma, then they approach the Lord, what to do. And he kind of surprises them with his advice. Says, you're not going to prevail at present because the time is not favorable for you. The best thing you can do now is to cooperate with the demons, work with them, and together you can do something which will be of interest for both of you, namely to create amrita, nectar, which the idea of nectar may be also interesting to think about, because we find really extensively in Vedic literature, Vedic, post-Vedic, some idea of an essence, something which is the essential substance. It's certainly there in the Upanishads. It comes again and again in so many ways. What is the essence of this particular thing or that particular thing? And it's always sort of a conversation of working back to that which is most essential. And of course, what is most essential is typically referred to as Brahman. Brahman is that which is the essence of everything. But there are other essences referred to, for example, honey. And there's a meditation in the Upanishads, maybe it's in the Chandogya or the Brihad Aranyaka, it's a meditation on honey. It's a process of meditation, of sort of bringing the mind to the essence, which ultimately is the Lord or Brahman. And so another essence is milk. And of course, milk can also be made into something more essential. It can be made into butter, and butter can be made into ghee. And what is it that's offered? What's the special substance that's offered in the yajna, in the ritual of cosmic maintenance? It is ghee, which is offered into the fire, into Agni, and Agni carries it. He's a kind of delivery demigod. He is called the first priest in the first hymn of the Rig Veda. He carries the ghee and the offerings, the grains, to the Lord or to the devas. So essences are very essential. Essences are essential. The Vedas are looking for essences. We want the essence. We want the nectar. Yeah, so devas and asuras, they come together by the suggestion of the Lord, and they attempt this churning process. Now, we had the discussion in our Bhaktivedanta course last week, or the week before, that we find several times a divine intervention when the devas and asuras see that they cannot, what they're trying to do is not possible, it's not working. First, they can't carry the Mandara mountain, the mountain of dullness, literally, to the sea. They need help, so the Lord appears and helps them. Then the Lord manifests himself as Kachapa Rupa, as the tortoise, in order to support, and then he appears again to hold the top, and he appears again to help the devas and asuras to churn, because they're churning and churning and churning and nothing is happening. They're not producing anything. So then the Lord manifests, appears, and because he is all-powerful, he makes the churning effective. So these interventions of the Lord can remind us that in our endeavors, in which we are trying to churn nectar in cooperation with our shadow, if you like, we need help. We need help. We need divine help. So once the Lord appears, that's described in chapter 7. There's a description of the Lord, first of all, how beautiful he is. This is verse number 17. Describes his complexion, his dress, his yellow dress, his hair falling down on his shoulders, his garland, his pinkish eyes, strong arms, which award fearlessness throughout the universe. So what does he do? He takes hold of Vasuki, this great snake, and he begins churning the ocean using Mandara as a churning rod. When engaged in this way, the Lord appeared like a beautifully situated mountain named Indranila. So he appears as a mountain named Indranila. Now, the problem with this analogy is that we're not familiar with the mountain Indranila. But we do know Indranila is also the name of the jewel. What is the English word for this? I'm forgetting at the moment. Not the German. It's not coming to me. My brain's a little foggy today. I'm going to blame it on the weather. Anyway, but before we go further, Vasuki, if we are trying to make an allegory, then the question comes, who is Vasuki in our picture of the internal, the psychological, our internal selves? The only thing I could come up with is in the tantric practice, there's the understanding that the kundalini, the energy which is said to be at the base of the Shishumara, the base of the vertical column, the subtle column of which more or less is going along the spine. That energy, which is to be awakened by the process of hatha yoga, which means a kind of force yoga. That energy is supposed to be awakened and drawn up, they say, up the Shishumara column. And that energy is described as a snake. And this, we are warned, is not to be done without proper guidance. It can be very dangerous. If one does it without guidance, one can have, they warn of things like permanent brain damage, because this is a very powerful energy. Anyway, Vasuki is there, and it says here the Lord takes hold of him and pulls. So that's interesting. It's the Lord who's generating by this churning motion. And the next verse describes the many denizens of the ocean who are disturbed, the fish, the sharks, tortoises, snakes. They all become agitated. Aquatic animals like whales, water elephants, hippopotami, I don't know. Crocodiles and timingila fish, which it says here are large whales that can swallow small whales. Okay. They all came to the surface. So we might want to compare these different animals, these different beings, to different thoughts. All sorts of different thoughts come to the surface. If we go back to Freudian psychology, of course, the idea of the unconscious is very prominent in his work, that we have so much sort of stored in some region of our consciousness which is not conscious, which is what he called the unconscious. And of course, his whole analysis, his whole idea is that we are repressing things which are either too painful for us to face or which society makes us to repress. And then what Freud was trying to do, his whole process of therapy, was to bring those things back to the surface. And the way he was trying to do it was by dream analysis. So we would have his patients make an effort to remember their dreams and then to report those dreams to him. And bring that way the whatever was troubling them coming to the surface, then they could supposedly deal with it on the conscious level and thus become free from the disturbance, at least to a point at which they could, so to speak, normally function. This has been maybe criticized in the recent development called positive psychology, where the effort is to say, you know, we can go a long ways further than just getting to the so-called normal state of suffering of the general public. We can go beyond that. We can experience something. We have a potential to experience happiness in this life, to experience joy, to experience the good things of life. So positive psychology is trying to focus on that. Well, be that as it may, in this account, what happens? All these beings come to the surface, and then it says, while the ocean was being churned in this way, it first produced a fiercely dangerous poison called hala. I think it gets different names. Yeah, I think it's also kala. But anyway, here it's hala. Produces a fiercely dangerous maholbanam hala vam agrata, it says in verse 18. Now at this point I was thinking, especially with the next verse. Let me read that verse. Tat ugravegam dishidishu paryado visarparut sarpat asahyam aprati bita praja dudruvur angasheshvara arakshamana śaranang sada shivam. O king, when that uncontrollable poison was forcefully spreading up and down in all directions, all the demigods, along with the Lord himself, approached Lord Shiva, Sada Shiva. Feeling unsheltered and very much afraid, they sought shelter of him. So when I read this, I thought, oh, this is talking about the pandemic. Because it says this uncontrollable poison was forcefully spreading up and down in all directions. And what do they do? What do the devas and I guess the asuras also? Together with the Lord, what do? They go to Lord Shiva. Now everyone's going to go run out and get a picture of Shiva and start doing worship of Shiva because he's going to swallow the pandemic. I don't know. But let's see what Srila Prabhupada says in his purport to this, because someone may ask, well, how is this? The Lord The Lord himself is present. He's all powerful, and certainly he can remove the poison. Why is he not doing it? So Srila Prabhupada quotes Madhvacharya, Rudrasya yashaso artaya, svayang vishnur visham vibhu, na sanjahre samarto pi, vayum choche prashantaye. And he paraphrases, Lord Vishnu was competent to rectify the situation. Svayam Vishnu. But in order to give credit to Lord Shiva, who later drank all the poison and kept it in his neck, Lord Vishnu did not take action. Na sanjahre, I think would be, did not take action. Samarto api, although able to do it, na sanjahre. Yeah, okay. So then comes an exchange with Lord Shiva and the devas. It says the devas. What's happening with the demons? I don't know. It's just mentioning the devas. So at this point, it's the good guys. It's the good guys within our minds, within our hearts, the good side of ourselves, if you like, who approach Lord Shiva, who they find, where do they find him? He's in Kailas. Or he's not in Kailas, he's on the top of Kailas. Kailas, as we know it, is this great mountain in present-day Tibet. I'm sure you've all seen photos. His Holiness Sachinandan Swami has circumambulated Kailas some years back together with some devotees. And he's also written a book about that experience. He's several times I've heard him say how he feels a certain special connection with Lord Shiva, a certain strong need to remember Lord Shiva. And I must admit, nowadays with the pandemic, I must confess, I must admit, it feels like it's not a bad thing to be remembering Lord Shiva and remembering how he swallows the poison. Then the Devas offer prayers, and I found it striking. There are several prayers glorifying Lord Shiva, and usually the format of a series of prayers when there's some desire for a benediction is that first they will praise the Lord, all of his qualities in so many different ways. And at the end, they will present their case. They will present their wish. That's the usual way, and it's the appropriate way. But it seems that in this case, they're feeling so much urgency that their very first prayer is telling what they want. Shri Prajapataya Uchu, Deva Deva Mahadeva Bhutatman Bhutabhavana, Trahi Na Sharana Pannangs Trilokya Dahanat Vishat. Trahi Naha, please protect us. The Prajapati said, O greatest of all demigods, Mahadeva, super soul of all living entities, and cause of their happiness and prosperity, we have come to the shelter of your lotus feet. Now, please save us, trahi naha, from this fiery poison, which is spreading all over the three worlds. Trilokya dahanat, it's burning and it's going everywhere. And then they go on with several prayers, which you can read. In fact, indeed, this may be a very nice meditation to practice. You could do this every day as part of your sadhana this week, to read the prayers. It begins, if you like to do this, with verse number 21, chapter 7. And they go up to up to 30, up to 35, yes, through 35. So 21 through 35, so there's 14 prayers to Lord Shiva, which might be nice to recite during this pandemic time. And then after that, of course, the Lord Shiva responds, but it doesn't seem that he speaks, he doesn't answer to the devas. Rather, he turns to Bhavani. Who is Bhavani? Bhavani is Parvati, is Durga. And it's quite interesting what he says. He says, my dear Bhavani, just see how all these living entities have been placed in danger because of the poison produced from the churning of the ocean of milk. And then he identifies their request as his own duty. Videyam, this is verse 38. We all know the word vidhi, and I guess we've talked about this. Smartavya satatam vishnor, vismartavyo najatuchit, sarve vidhi nishedha syur etayor eva kinkara. Remembering the Lord is to be remembered, never to be forgotten, and these are the principal rules. All rules and prohibitions, vidhi and nishedha, are servants. They are kinkara. They are asking the question, kim kara, what should I do? They are servants of these two principles, smartavya satatam vishnor, vismartavyo najatuchit. So vidhi can mean rule, and specifically it has to do with duty. The ideas, things that should be done are called vidhi. And here it's vidheyam. It's in the gerundive form, which means that which is to be done. It's a noun, that which is to be done. So he's saying, I have a duty, I should do this. I should respond to their need. And he says, prana paripsunam. I have a desire to protect them, protect their lives, prana. ipsu. Ipsu means desire, and ipsu, a desire from all sides, a thorough, comprehensive desire. So he's declaring to his wife, I want to do something for them. I want to take care of these people, of these creatures, of these beings. And it strikes me that this is also a significant indication or lesson for us, and also related to, our present situation in the world, our present situation in our communities, in our families. Devotees are also meant to help others in practical ways, not just in theoretical ways. That's a bigger subject, and we're coming to the end of our time now. Engaged Vaishnavism. If you remind me next time, maybe we can speak about that. And yes, I guess I will end here, but maybe we can go just a little bit longer. I want to ask Mahatmananda Prabhu. I don't want to put you on the spot, but Mahatmananda, if you would like, perhaps you could say a few words in memory, in appreciation of Venkatabhatta, who, as I mentioned in the beginning of our session, very sadly departed from our company this last week. Would you care to say something about his very nice qualities as a Vaishnava? We don't see him, whether he's personally present now, maybe not. Okay, maybe next time he can do that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
If you like, I could read something that Varshabhanavi wrote about him, which
yes, please.
I think it's very touching. I just would like to find it. Sorry.
Okay, Varshabhanavi, for those who don't know, is Venkatabhatta's wife. We have to say widow now. And they live, Varshabhanavi is living in Osijek, which is in eastern Croatia.
So she wrote, what I would like to say about him, which maybe was not seen from the outside, but it was very visible when you spent 24 hours a day with him, is this big enthusiasm to always serve Guru Maharaj. Through every day, he always did some services for devotees and Guru Maharaj. And his desire was that in this service, he gives his maximum and that he does everything the best he can. And always, and again, from day to day, he was thinking how to do more and best for Guru Maharaj. And the last day on this planet, which was on Sunday, he spent certainly the whole day in this service for Guru Maharaj. There were just some breaks from chanting and honoring prasadam. He was doing accounting, the yearly GBC report, which has to be given every year. And on Monday, he went from this planet, and doctor who was making obduction, he said that it was in one moment. He just left in one moment without any before signs. So that was from her.
Yes, Venkatabhatta was doing many services, which were very helpful for me, very practical services, especially related to sadhanashram. He was arranging the construction. He was coordinating for devotees to come there for construction work, coordinating others. He was also involved in anything having to do with legal matters connected with the sadhanashram house. And as you mentioned, accounting also was something he was doing for us that was very helpful. But beyond service that I was benefiting from, he was very dear to all the devotees in Croatia and Slovenia. Such a mild-mannered person, I would say, a real gentleman in so many ways. So we're all going to miss him. Okay, on that sadder note, it's not so good to end on a sad note like this, but it's the reality. And so I do want to request you all to pray for him, and I want to, suggest, if you like, to chant these prayers to Lord Shiva, because the whole world now is suffering, is very disturbed by this forceful hala poison in the form of this virus. So the sooner this can be resolved, the better for everyone, so that we can all go out and resume our public service of glorifying the Lord in Harinam, having Ratha Yatra in the summer, and meeting each other and sharing and having prasadam, so we don't have to just look at the cakes, but we can also relish the cakes and so on. So I wish you all a wonderful week in service, in bhajan, in sadhana, and we will see you all again next Saturday. And I will say, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Bol.